Welcome to episode 169 of the 2-Minute Warning. Today I am going over the Buffalo Bills and why I think they could possibly make it to the Super Bowl this year and possibly take down Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Just to look at the Buffalo Bills currently, they're 9-3 in the AFC, 3rd seed in the AFC, 1st seed in the AFC East, and they're probably going to lock up the AFC division. Anything is possible. They could lose their next 4 games, and if they do lose their next 4 games, everything I say in this video is kind of false because I think they could be a possible Super Bowl team, but if they lose out and go 9-7, obviously I'm wrong. However, 9-3 right now, their 3 losses come from the Arizona Cardinals, who arguably you could say doesn't count. In my eyes, it doesn't count. Obviously, in the standings, on paper, in the record, it counts for sure, but the Bills outplayed the Cardinals. I don't want to say they dominated the Cardinals, but they just overall played better than them. And it came down to a random Hail Mary that works 1 out of 50 times ever. And if you give the Cardinals that same chance 10 more times, it's not going to happen. It was just a fluke play that they got lucky on. Obviously, Kyler Murray threw a great ball, and DeAndre Hopkins fought for it greatly, and it obviously worked out. But that is, like I said, 9 times out of 10, not going to happen. And it did. However, so looking outside of that play, I still think the Bills won that game. And in my eyes, I see them as a 10-2 team and not worry. I don't just, no matter what the record is or on paper, I don't think it's a game the Bills should sweat over or worry about because they did outplay the Cardinals and just perform better. Other 2 losses, Kansas City Chiefs. When they played the Chiefs, I believe it was, I know they lost by 9. It might have been 26-17. That sounds right, 26-17. And Josh Allen only had 122 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. So to play Patrick Mahomes and arguably the greatest team in the NFL, previous Super Bowl champions, and probably back-to-back champions, more than likely, Josh Allen only lost by 9 and threw for under 150 yards and had a turnover. So I guess that's something to look at, like, just come playoff time, like, hey, we only lost by 9 and we played horribly. Imagine if we played our best or greatest or just played even a touch better. Who knows what the game could have been. So, yes, there's hope there in that loss. Obviously, you don't want to lose, but you do want to see that you were competitive and at least went, I don't want to say toe-to-toe, but held in contention with the reigning Super Bowl champions and possibly your roadblock to the Super Bowl this year. Then their 3rd loss, Tennessee Titans. That game, they lost 42-16. Yes, that was a blowout, but the Bills had 4 turnovers. That's not going to happen again if they play each other in the playoffs. I got the Bills beating the Tennessee Titans if they played again today. Just like I said, they had the 4 turnovers, and even due to that, they held Derrick Henry to 56 yards, and anytime you could do that, that is definitely something to be, or at least feel accomplished about as your football team and for your defense, holding the best running back in the league to only 56 yards. So like I said, come playoff time, take away the turnovers. Josh Allen performs a little better. Keep Derrick Henry held back like he did the first time, and I think it's a different football game. Then looking at their wins, they do have some notable wins between the Dolphins, the Rams, the Raiders, the Patriots, the Seahawks, and they just beat the 49ers last night, who might not be a reputable win, but the 49ers were actually favored in Week 13 against the Bills, so you have to say it's something since they were technically the underdogs and won. This upcoming week, they have the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 14, and really this game right here determines what I think will happen for them in the playoffs. Pittsburgh Steelers fell from 11-0 to 11-1 after they lost to the Washington football team, and I truthfully think they will fall 11-2 and the Bills will win this game. It'll show us that the Bills are going to be a great playoff team and possibly make a Super Bowl run, but there's a lot to see. The Steelers defense is one of the best in the league. Between them, the Colts and the Rams, pick your best. It doesn't matter. You can't really go wrong between any of those 3. But Josh Allen being a great quarterback, he does make some risky plays, but he is go big or go home, and it pans out a lot for him. Between Stefon Diggs, John Brown, Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley, not the greatest receiver ever, but definitely a great slot guy to have on the team for sure. However, the Steelers, the Steelers and Bills both do lack a run game to an extent, so it might be an air-out game, and really, Big Ben's aging, and he's starting to throw a turnover more often than not, so I think Josh Allen could definitely outscore Big Ben in a gunslinging shootout type of game, so I do think the Bills will win this game, which moves us to the playoffs, or moves us to a playoff preview. The Bills, no matter what happens for the playoffs, no matter how the seedings go, there's a more than likely chance they will have to play the Steelers or the Chiefs, if not both, in order to get to the Super Bowl. So where's my overall assumption of where the Bills are going to end up? Like I said, between Stefon Diggs, between Josh Allen, between an amazing coaching staff, and Sean McDermott, a well-rounded defense for sure, Micah Hyde, Tre'davious White, so on and so on, great defense. maybe not Rams, Colts, Steelers level, but definitely up there and one of the better ones in the league, no doubt. I really don't want to say they're a Super Bowl team by any means, but there's so much upside to the Bills. I think in the first round, if they say they're the third, second, or fourth seed, they're likely looking to match up against the Browns, Dolphins, or Raiders. We already seen they could beat Miami once. We've already seen they could beat the Raiders once. And the Browns, while they are kind of a question mark team, being 9-3, I do think just the Bills' defense is going to get to Baker Mayfield. We saw Baker Mayfield have one of his greatest games last week against the Titans, but the Titans don't have a great defense and they couldn't pressure him. If the Bills could pressure Baker, which I know they can, Baker's going to fold. If they can stop Nick Chubb, they'll fold as a team, and I don't think that'll be an issue for the Bills. Then moving on to the second round, they'll definitely have to play either the Steelers or the Chiefs. And like I said, if they could beat the Steelers this week, they could beat them again in the playoffs. And then say that goes perfect. If they come down to the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to remember, like I said in the beginning of the video, they lost by 9, and Josh Allen played one of his worst games in the season, having only 122 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. And I truthfully think, I don't want to say the Chiefs are going to lose this game by any means, but just them already beating the Bills once this season, they might go into this game possibly just having, not their guard down, but just not having huge hopes. They might be a little cocky, like we beat them once, we could do it again, no problem. In the Chiefs' powerhouse offense, they just having that stacked roster, they're going to go in confidently, and the Bills going to have a chip on their shoulder. They're going to be the underdog. They're going to fight harder, in my opinion, and I do think Josh Allen, being that go big or go home guy, can catch Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in an off-guard game. No matter what happens, I won't be surprised unless the Bills come out and destroy the Chiefs. Yes, that'll surprise me, but no matter what, I think it'll be a close contention game to an extent. Even if it's won by 7 or 10, I think it'll still be a competitive game between the two teams. But I just have to say, Josh Allen is not at that point yet. I loved him coming out of college, and I loved him in the playoffs last year where he should have beat Deshaun Watson if it weren't for that fluke play. But we have to remember, it's only his third year in the league, and he doesn't have, while he does have a great roster, he doesn't have that type of roster like the Chiefs do. And you just have to think, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, you're going to go with Mahomes. Wide receiving core, even though the Bills have a great one, you're going to go with the Chiefs between Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, McCole Hardman. Backfield, Le'Veon Bell, Clyde Edwards-Helaire on the Chiefs versus Devin Singletary. You're going to go with the Chiefs. So just between offense of quarterback, receiving, and running back, you got the Chiefs in every category. Maybe you'll take the Bills on defense, but even then it's neck and neck. And then coaching staff, as much as I like Sean McDermott, Andy Reid is one of the best in the NFL, and I'm going to take the Chiefs there. So the Bills just have too many outliers that don't benefit them more than the Chiefs have, and that is why I think they will get stopped and the Chiefs will be their roadblock. But like I said, if Josh Allen comes out and just has a bunch of go big or go home plays that turn out to pan out, I would not be surprised if they steal a win from them and go on to the Super Bowl. However, I don't think it'll happen. I think the Kansas City Chiefs will stop them and just beat them in a really close game. Josh Allen might have them next year, but this year is not it for the Bills. 2-minute warning.